Hey folks, today is Friday, September 17th, 2020. As usual, my name is Jake. We're here to talk about all the video game news that has been going on this week. Let's just get you caught up. There's a lot to talk about, so let's just go. The first thing, big, massive news. Cyberpunk 2077, which was originally scheduled for a release this April, has been delayed to September 17th. Hey, now I know the frustration is there for a lot of people that were really anticipating this game, but of course I think it's important to point out that these things take time. And a rushed game that has problems sucks. If a game that we're really looking forward to needs more time to just fine-tune little things here and there, I'm all for that. I think most people should be, because I mean, whatever. That's not a hot take, right? That's pretty standard. I think that's reasonable. So now expect Cyberpunk 2077 to pretty much be the big fall season game of 2020. September 17th, 2020. Hopefully that's the last final release date. Also, apparently the Cyberpunk multiplayer is not going to be available at launch when the game launches. They said to expect that now more in 2021. That's fine, because honestly, I don't even need or want Cyberpunk multiplayer. Another super hot take, I know. What can I say? I like single-player games. The Final Fantasy VII Remake has been bumped one last time. We've only been waiting for a bajillion years anyway. From March 3rd to April 10th. And they also pushed the Avengers game from May 15th to September 4th. So September is going to have the Avengers game and then Cyberpunk. Wow. Who would have saw any of this coming? Also, when is Biomutant coming out? Remember that game? Now, one of the other big stories of the week, you've probably seen these headlines floating around quite a bit. GameStop is in trouble yet again. Pretty much the gist of the story is pretty simple, cut and dry. They reported a 25% decline in sales for the holiday season that we just got through. That's lower than they expected. They are chalking it up to people holding back and not buying consoles, one of the bigger revenue drivers, because, there are new consoles in the pipeline that everyone is very much aware of. So that's a thing. Quite a bummer in a list of ongoing bummers for GameStop. As you know, we've reported on their troubles very much, but downers during the holiday season, that's like their time to make money, so that's why this is significant, and a lot of analysts and journalists are pointing this out quite a bit. I do want to also point out, though, we have talked about these stories quite a bit in the past, and I've always said, like, hey, if you work at GameStop, if you're a manager or just an employee, definitely reach out. We'd love to hear like what you guys think, and people have come out and sent me some pretty interesting messages and emails from both sides of the fence. Some people saying, yeah, it does suck. But some people are saying that, like, hey, they see management and upper management actually trying to really improve things, considering they did have a new CEO as of last year. It's hard out there. I mean, it's hard out there for a lot of other retail things, but video games especially, just because of the rise of digital everything, It makes sense, but it's unfortunate, because I like the act of going to stores and browsing and buying things. That's really it, though. Like I said, we'll keep you posted on this stuff. GameStop is still around, so we'll see where it goes. In other news, there was a Super Smash Bros. Themed Nintendo Direct. People were expecting a lot of crazy new things. The last fighter in this pack to be revealed. People had crazy high expectations, and what we got is Byleth from Fire Emblem Three Houses. Sakurai seems very much to be a fan of Fire Emblem, and you know what I say? He's given us a lot of good shit. Let him have this. Let him put the Fire Emblem characters in the game. Fire Emblem Three Houses, of course, was also a massive hit for Nintendo Switch. They want to expose more people to this series that's been going on for a while and has a lot of fans. But a lot of people just had crazy expectations. A lot of us, including me, thought it was going to be Dante from Devil May Cry after a lot of social media teasings, but it was just like a big troll. Like the Smash team seems to know that people complain that there's too many anime swordsmans in the game, and they gave us another one. But you know what? Whatever at this point. The way I look at it, I haven't actually picked up and played Super Smash Bros. In quite a few months, so I don't really have a personal stake in this. Fine, the more the better. Whatever. The Mii fighter costumes are actually much more interesting. I'm super into them. There is a Cuphead one and an Altair one. Altair, like. Altair, not Ezio, not anyone else, not anyone new like Bayek or anything like that. No, Altair ibn al-Ahad. What is that his name? I got it like 90% right. Why can't I remember anyone's name? I can't even remember my grandma's name, but I can remember Altair's fucking full name. That's cool, but let's move on over to some PlayStation news. The biggest surprise thing is that Kotaku is reporting that Sony is planning to release Horizon Zero Dawn on PC. later this year. That is very interesting and could potentially set a very surprising precedent for Sony, who seems to have very much been going their own way, very separate from Xbox or just like PC or Nintendo here. They're very much sticking to the traditional way, and now here we have them possibly releasing not only Horizon Zero Dawn on PC later this year, but we already know we're getting Death Stranding on PC later this year. But Horizon Zero Dawn specifically was a complete Sony exclusive, so this is very interesting, and I wonder if this is going to be their strategy moving forward and into the PlayStation 5 generation. It's only going to make them more money, right? I guess that's why they're doing it. Like, they spent money to develop a game. Why not throw it on PC as well and make some more money? And also, it is worth noting that Horizon Zero Dawn and Death Stranding are both running on the Decima engine, which, maybe that means that they're both easily portable to PC, more easily portable than other games developed for the console. I don't know, but it seems fairly likely, and it does sound realistic. It was confirmed apparently by 3 anonymous sources, reported by Kotaku, like I said. So yeah, I mean, like I've been saying, like the industry has been rapidly changing, and just like the business models and the structures, and it keeps things interesting, that's for sure. But like, even recently, the rise of cross-play that we never thought we would see, backwards compatibility becoming more of an important thing for these companies, another thing I didn't really think I would see. So this is interesting. I'm very curious to hear what you guys think in the comments, because exclusivity and consoles definitely get people kind of jammed up and wild, so let's take it easy. Whoa, switching to sponsorship close. This episode is brought to you by Raycon. Now, you've probably seen these earbuds floating around on the internet. Snoop Dogg's endorsed them.
Wait, are we friends with Snoop Dogg now?
Yeah, we're actually friends with Snoop Dogg.
Really?
Yeah, he knows us. Raycon earbuds start at about half the price of any other premium wireless earbuds on the market, but they sound just as good. If you're looking to dip your toes into the wireless audio world, but you're not willing to break the bank, check out the latest E25 model. This is them right here. They're super discreet and super slick. Look at them, huh? Low-key, pretty simple. They got a charging carrying case that can charge the earbuds up to 4 times, but the buds themselves have 6 hours of playtime, actual bass. And really, I've said it before, I'll say it again, just going wireless is the game changer itself. You don't really have to sweat paying hundreds for a brand name when these are solid right here. If you're curious and you want to check them out, all you have to do is go to the description that's on screen here or linked in the description below to get 15% off your next order. That's buyraycon.com/gameranx. Once again, that's buyraycon.com/gameranx. And thanks again to them for sponsoring this video. Now, in other Sony news, there is speculation that the next God of War game is definitely in the works. Now, we've gotten little teases and little cryptic things here and there, nothing concrete, but the newest round of speculation is a Sony Santa Monica artist posting a photo on Twitter that they're back in the motion capture studio. That's really it. People run with this. People are thinking it's God of War 5. It could be something else Sony Santa Monica is working on. We know they've been staffing up for a project. So yeah, what do you think it could be? Personally, Sony Santa Monica was working on a sci-fi game that they canceled before God of War. I would very much like to see them kind of pursue that again, because there had to have been some good idea there, Now, in other news, this part of the story is all stuff we link in the description below, some videos and stuff you should catch up on for the week if you haven't. But the first thing is a big one, and I want to talk about it. Obviously, I want to talk about it. There's a camera. I'm talking to you. Internet user Last Jawa has been working on a fan project Star Wars game. Look at this. This is insane. It looks a lot like there was a Revenge of the Sith game that came out back in the day, and it had like a separate fighting game mode. It was kind of rough, but it kind of looks like this. This, of course, is very much rough around the edges. It seems very much like a Terrace Kazi style thing. Big shout outs to one of you guys out there that actually sent me the file for this game. You know who you are. I really appreciate it. I say that because Last Jawa seemingly took it down. It got a lot of attention, a lot of traffic on social media, of course, because, I mean, look at this thing. You know how Disney and all that, like, pursues their copyrights for stuff like this. We've talked about Star Wars fan games taking heat in the past, so, like, I don't feel bad talking about this and giving it exposure just because he already kind of took it down, but he did say that it was just a fun project he worked on with his kids, which is really nice and charming, and it's actually pretty impressive. They threw a bunch of really interesting-looking character models in the game. You have Luke Skywalker from the early days to the Yellow Jacket variant to the Last Jedi. You have Mara Jade Skywalker in there. You have some expanded universe stuff that I love to see. A lot of interesting maps spanning all the movies. You have Obi-Wan squaring off with General Grievous, which always makes me very, very happy. And like I said, it's rough around the edges, but like it's got cool sound effects. The visuals are pretty interesting, and just as like a quick thing to fire up and just beat around some Star Wars characters with some friends, I give Last Jawa a lot of props props for crafting this, because it is definitely a labor of love, and I just love Star Wars. Anyway, there's videos for it. There's a trailer that's linked in the description below, as well as everything else I talk about. And there is a lot to talk about, including a new Mortal Kombat 11 trailer that showcases and highlights the Joker, of all people. You get to see all of his moves, his fatalities, stuff like that. Mortal Kombat games and the character packs and the trailers that they edit for them are always just the gifts that keep on freaking giving. We also, of course, earlier in the week got a new trailer for Doom Eternal, which shows off a lot of new stuff. This game looks insane. It looks like they're really expanding the scope and the concepts of 2016 Doom. I said this on Twitter. Like, it seems like how Halo to Halo 2, this seems like Doom to Doom Eternal. I'm really, really excited. It is, of course, as you guys know, like our most anticipated game next to Cyberpunk. I highly recommend watching that, but also earlier in the week, everything dropped at the start of the week. A new trailer for Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, showing more of our big, wet, greasy man himself, as well as hunters, which I was really excited to see as an older Resident Evil fan. It's good to see those old creatures come back, get the representation they deserve, you know? Definitely check those out. Those are linked in the description, as well as a new look at a new map for PUBG for the new season. If you're still playing PUBG, you still got stuff to play. But in other news, a leak from like a Taiwanese ratings board, apparently Bioshock, the collection, you know, the collection of the remastered games that was released on PS4 and Xbox a couple years back, has been rated for Nintendo Switch. So now, of course, as of right now, there's no official confirmation. This is just from this, but that's pretty cool. And I really wanted to talk about this for a specific reason, not just because, oh, Bioshock on Switch, that's cool. But I like to speculate, like, is this them starting to ramp up and gear up for, of course, a new Bioshock? We know 2K and studios there have been working on something, a new Bioshock thing. Even though Ken Levine is out, it is very much a brand that they still want to keep making stuff for. So I wonder if, like, we're going to see this release, we're going to see the collection on other platforms go on sale and ramp up and get more people to play Bioshock, to then, of course, announce Bioshock whatever. What are we going to call it? The live show. The live show chat came up with some good concepts. Bioshock Arctic, Bioshock Underground. I really, really just want to know what a Bioshock game in 2020 without Ken Levine, what that would be like. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. It's a really fun thing to brainstorm, just new Bioshock concepts, because really you can really just do anything. So let me know what you think. Oh, and one last thing that I thought was pretty interesting. Some news came out. Stig Asmussen from Respawn did an interview on a podcast and spoke about the creative process behind Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, one of my favorite games from 2019. And some interesting information came out about it, specifically working with Lucasfilm and developing the property. Apparently, Lucasfilm pushed pretty heavily for them to make a game that was focused around rebels and bounty hunters and blasters and stuff like that. And Respawn pushed back, saying, hey, we focus, you know, we can do combat and stuff like that. The people we've hired can do combat, like melee combat, so please let us do this. Apparently, Lucasfilm was very hesitant. Apparently, they treat, like, Force and Jedi as, like, their holy grail, so they're very protective over it. But interestingly enough, he said that they came back and they were like, well, okay, yeah, your pedigree is pretty good. How about a game with Force users, but not really Jedis? But then eventually, it seems like Respawn broke through and was able to do something, honestly, like the most Jedi lore focused we've seen in a while. It reminded me of something more like KOTOR in terms of just like what it would try and do with Jedi temples and the old days and stuff like that. I just thought it was really interesting. Like little tidbits of news just from interviews sometimes are worth talking about. Wanted to put that in front of you guys. Of course, it's all linked in the description below. But of course, before we go, we got to do that console giveaway we do every single week. You know how this goes down by now. There's a link in the description below. You click it to sign up. You enter once, then you're entered for good. And then every single week, we go in and randomly choose one person to win a free console of their choice. Now, this week's winner is going to be this person right here. Congratulations. Be sure to keep an eye on your inbox, your spam box, stuff like that, because we're going to be reaching out to you to find out how we can send you your free stuff. But now, alas, we must talk about all the news this week. The Resident Evil Nemesis trailer. What do you think? Also, Cyberpunk 2077 being delayed. Oh boy, are you okay with waiting? You should be okay with waiting, because hopefully it'll turn out even better for it, you know? What do you think about Sony's potential new strategy to put out their games on PC? What do you think that means for the bigger scheme? I think everybody's moving to ecosystems. It seems logical. Also, what do you think Santa Monica is working on? You think it is a God of War 5 and stuff like that? And last but not least, like I think the most fun question we can do in the comments here is, what do you think a new Bioshock game could be like? What would it be? It's just the concept, the setting, location, the political themes, messages. What do you think? Let's talk about anything down in the comments. Let's have fun. Let's be cool. But of course, things get crazy down there. So if you got anything else from me, you want to yell at me at all or anything like that, hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at Jake Baldino. Also, if you are watching this over the weekend, if you are keeping track, I am working on Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Some videos and stuff like that, including it before you buy, will be out over the course of the weekend. So keep your eyes peeled. If you enjoyed this video, though, thank you for watching, first of all. But clicking the like button is the best way you can help us out. We would really appreciate that. And if you're new, of course, consider subscribing because we put out videos every freaking day. But as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Pizza's on me.